Welcome back. We're getting in breaking inputs from Jammu and Kashmir. In fact, the Director General of Police of Jammu and Kashmir, in fact, Mr. R.R. Swain, has spoken to CNN-News18's Anand Narasimhan. Listen in to his reaction on CNN-News18's mega investigation that has exposed how Pakistan is using narco-terror in a proxy war against India. We had earlier told you how insiders have revealed that drugs are being smuggled into Jammu and Kashmir from Islamabad. And the probe has also proven the impact as far as News 18's exposes on Pak's narco-terror is concerned. Remember, a few days ago, the Jammu and Kashmir Lieutenant Governor, Mr. Sinha, had also expelled some government employees that included some police officials as well. Let's listen into the CNN News 18 exclusive.
Another challenge, sir, is the drugs issue. How much has, the security system been able to counter this drugs menace? Because we've seen here at News 18 that on ground the youth are getting influenced by drugs. A lot of this frenzy was also drug induced, and the adversary or the enemy was pushing drugs into the region. And there are instances where women are also involved, either couriers or users. How effectively have you been able to cut that out? We knew drone drops coming through with bags of heroin, etc. So how much has that been able to, controlled?
The challenge of the drug can be seen from two angles. One is, of course, the victims. Number of people who are affected, who are addicts, and consequently the families who are affected. That is one angle of seeing it. One way of measuring it. The other way of measuring it is that the number of seizures and the quantum of drugs that are coming, the amount of money that gets pumped into the system after selling it in the market. They are connected, but it is a very detailed survey to know as to how much, to what extent the drug menace has really affected the society. In very quantifiable terms, in very sure terms, would require some kind of a survey. I am not too sure that any such survey, scientific survey, which would give us a very accurate figure is available or not. But the anecdotal evidence that you have on the basis of, let us say, the centers where people come for treatment, de-addiction, and from the anecdotal evidence that you come to know from the society through various methods, is that it's a challenge. And people are affected, people are nervous, families, societies, communities are extremely worried and nervous about it. And but as far as the effort is concerned, see, initially even within the security establishment, people thought that the terror and the narcotics were not intersecting initially. 3 or 4 years before, I have my colleagues who were debating amongst themselves that, sir, we are not getting a clear evidence as to where they are intersecting. There is a hypothesis, but eventually in the last 3-4 years, NIA investigations, SIA investigations, and the executive district police Thana level investigations have proved it beyond any shadow of doubt that the senders from across are invariably linked with a outfit.
Outfit.
Yes.
Okay.
So they are given large chunks of narcotics as some kind of a money, a currency, and then it is pushed inside, it is smuggled inside, and then it is, part of it is consumed here, and a large part of it is sent to the hinterland for purposes of money. It has also been established beyond any shadow of doubt. See, for example, in one case, if I can recall, 6 lakhs of rupees was sent from Delhi to be paid to a former minister.
Right.
And what was the purpose? The purpose was that the minister was asked to create a cell within Jammu, which is akin to Hurriyat, some kind of disaffection against the Indian state, to create some kind of a Hurriyat equivalent in Jammu. So it was a seed money which was being given. When we tried to trace the money backwards, where this 6 lakh rupee came, we found that the money came from a place or a person who was a known peddler, smuggler. And then further, when we investigated him, we found out that not only this money, several other amounts had been received by, he was both in the receiving channel of drugs and also in the reverse gear, the money receiving channel. So he was a very important node in which he used to receive, and therefore it got intersected. Usually the adversary takes care that the sending channel and the money reverse channel are usually parallel. But it cannot be, you can't take that much of care because you need money. Suddenly somebody says 6 lakh रुपया देना है किसी को, तो वो पाकिस्तान को जाएगा, फिर वो ड्रोन से आएगा पैसा, या somebody will carry it in physical sense or through हवा. It's a very hard exercise. So the money is already there, their money, they have sold it, they have collected it, so they will make a phone call कि 6 लाख रुपया इसको दे दो, 10 लाख रुपया उसको दे दो. So that temptation that is there, so they commit mistakes, and that is how we have come to know. This is about the modus operandi. Our response to this, you asked, you see, what we try to do is, and what we continue to try making efforts, is that we do keep a watch about the victims, but we have tried to target any money that you have earned out of drug in J&K. We will not allow you to digest it.
Okay.
So while the small seizures and the peddlers, who often are also victims themselves, addict cum peddlers,
correct,
that is the modus operandi usually the case. We have tried, between ourselves we decided, we said, let's look at the terrain, the narco landscape, and see who has made money out of it, who has made ghar, who has made gadi, and made properties, or made bank balances. We have targeted them. We have selected them, and the big ones. So in the last 2.5 years, properties have been seized in large numbers. Vehicles, trucks, trolleys, all of that has been seized. Many of such properties have been held in Benami mode. In other, that also we are digging out. So what we are doing is also we are trying to rope in our partners like ED, Enforcement Directorate, who have sweeping powers under PMLA, because it is actually laundering. You have converted it, you have tried to whitewash it. So ED has been brought in. We have also in certain cases requested the Income Tax Department to look into it. So it's a 360-degree approach in which we are targeting the big dealers, the ones who deal, who iska dhanda karte hain.
The big profiteers and the big
profiteers. I am sure it has had an impact. I have been told from very authentic sources that there is a serious change now to pharmaceutical drugs. That's because heroin is no longer available as freely as it was 3 years ago. You see? So there is a challenge nevertheless in Jammu side. Why? Because the drugs also come in the reverse gear from the hinterland also. You see? The entire border and the seaports and etc. As far as Valley is concerned, as far as LC is concerned, we have made an effort that people who are dealing with it and are businessmen and living within the territory of J&K, they would not really be very safe and be able to digest that money.
All right, Anand Narasimhan joins me on the phone line. A very good afternoon to you, Anand. While the CNN-News18 expose was about exposing the modus operandi, your interview is very interesting when it talks about tracking the narco profits, because remember, Mr. R.R. Swain's highlighted that how whether it's going to be private citizens or even moles in the government or police, everybody will be held accountable.
Good afternoon, Akanksha, and to our viewers. Yes, the DGP of Jammu and Kashmir has very clearly said that there was first the effort to try and connect the narcotics trade with the entire business of terror, so the narcotics and terror link, and also to establish perhaps those who are profiteering out of this entire narcotics business. And the approach was not just to take the drugs off the streets, but also to try and break the back and disincentivize those who are profiteering out of narcotics in Jammu and Kashmir. And that is the one that has taken some time and effort, but they have been able to figure out the track and trace. And he also elucidated how in one of the cases they were able to see that the money that was being paid to these elements, anarchists and also terrorist elements or separatist elements, was drug money, which was coming from a trader who was also trading in narcotics. So he said that in Jammu and Kashmir, especially in the Kashmir Valley, this is one way that they have tried to crack down. In